The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as hamiltonradio.net, Diamonds FM, and themikewagnershow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosinzia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosinzia has garnered great reviews and even love and enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartradio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music. And now you can catch the Mike Wagner Show on hamiltonradio.net, Diamonds FM, Oldies Radio, and a few networks coming very soon. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, and baseball gear and more. Makes great gifts for family, friends, and loved ones 24/7. Go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, and foam cases and more. Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Wagner Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with an amazing author and coach whose mission is to help people break out their cycles of uncertainty and struggles that hold them back. We'll talk about that, which is prevalent today. And also she'll help you focus on going deeper than self-care and being more honest with yourself and mindful productivity and making sure that your job is working for you and nurturing, achieving your hopes and dreams while having children. Of course, many of us can relate that. She's also authored the book, The Clarity Journal, and she's also been a life coach for over a decade, and she's on a mission to help people break that cycle. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown St. Louis, the home of the wonderful Arch and everything else, ladies and gentlemen, the author of The Clarity Journal and life coach, Becca Ribbing. Becca, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too. So you're an author and coach who's on a mission to help people break out their cycles of uncertainty and struggle that hold them back. You also help focus on people going deeper than self-care, being more than honest with yourself, and also mindful productivity, making sure that your job is working for you and nurturing, achieving your hopes and dreams while having children. You have the book called The Clarity Journal. You've been a life coach for over a decade, and we'll talk about the book and talk about your career as well, too. And before we get into all that, Becca, tell us how you first got started.
Oh, goodness. So I actually got started a long time ago at this point, and I'd left my job. I'd worked for the federal government, and I had thought that the job I had would be great. And, when you're out of college, you get the job you think you want, or you get pigeonholed. Not everyone gets the job they think they want.
We can all relate. Yes.
But you get out of school and you realize you really didn't know that much about the world, about the real world, because you're being taught by a bunch of teachers who, they've had teaching is fabulous. Being an academic is fabulous, but it's a very specific, narrow job field. And so when people are trying to teach students about what they want to do, inevitably they don't necessarily hit the right mark. When you're in your 18, you're 20, you just don't have enough life experience. Mm-hmm. So I did a huge inventory about what I wanted when I was in my 20s. And I did what a lot of people do. I read all of the books. I figured out what my Myers-Briggs type was. I figured out, I'm trying to think of all the other, there's so many different of those little, here, fill out this questionnaire and we'll tell you what you want, what you should be. And as I was doing those and reading books like What Color Is Your Parachute, I realized,
I remember that book. That was almost like a parachute itself too. It's just I still have it from I'm probably dating myself, 1988. And for some reason, it's still relevant to this day, even if it's old technology, the principle is still there. So
the principle is still there. It's a great book. It's definitely not the most popular one at this point, but this was 20 years ago. And as I was doing that, it was really funny because I wasn't necessarily becoming that much more clear about myself and what I wanted to do. And yet all of my friends were going through that same period of time, being in their 20s, trying to figure out what they wanted to do, trying to figure out how to get unstuck out of a pigeonhole. And I started helping them get jobs. And as I got more and more of my friends' jobs and helped them figure it out, I realized I was actually really great at coaching. And that's how I got into coaching. It was not consciously done. I just really love when other people just have that light shining, when they talk about their job and they actually enjoy it. And it's really meaningful to me because we spend so much time at work and it's such a waste. So many people don't like their jobs and there's just no need for it. You're not doing anyone any good doing something that you don't like.
I'm sure the Geico Lizard does not want to hear that. I'm sure. So,
right.
Mm-hmm. And what was that one precise moment you talked about? You took in self-inventory of yourself. You first began. What was that one precise moment at that point? Your job or thing simply said, "I need to do this," or "This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my career." What was that one moment that simply just sparked you into going to this journey?
I was I was at this beautiful, beautiful park with a friend of mine, and we were sitting on some boulders by a creek, and it was just visually so nourishing. And she was talking about what she wanted to do and how she could do it. And we were just sitting there brainstorming for hours. And that was the moment that I was like, this is actually a job. And I love doing this. I love brainstorming with people to help them figure out what the next step is.
Mm-hmm. And also too, do you think brainstorming could also be the next wave of the future? Say brainstorm coaching. It's you have general coaching overall, and you got specific ones. You got life, you got spiritual, then you got motivation, all these niches. Do you think brainstorm coaching would be the big thing as well too, or maybe groundbreaking?
I love that. I now want that to be my tagline. So don't copyright it or trademark it.
No, we're not. We don't do that.
But I actually really live that. I feel like that is actually what I do. And I've never had someone say that to me. So thank you.
Not a problem. And then we'll also get into your book, The Clarity Journal, and other things as well, too. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosensia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosensia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Z has garnered great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Molson-Z, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out The Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Z for great books like Missing, Want, and Wrinkles, and also Victim of Shame as well, too. Check it out on Amazon.com under Mia and Molson-Z. Make sure you check out the merchandise. Also support The Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at The Mike Wagner Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with author and life coach Becca Ribbing of the Clarity Journal here on The Mike Wagner Show. And Becca, you had started the Clarity Journal. It's basically just talking about a number of things. And what was the actual inspiration for the Clarity Journal? And tell us more about the book.
So I actually came up with the Clarity Journal because I was in my own space of trying to figure out what to do next. You know, I've been a coach for a really long time, but I had hit this place where, you know, I had gotten pregnant with my second kid. I ended up having a hip injury. So I became almost disabled. I had to use a cane on and off during the whole pregnancy. And then the cutie was born and he had a massive amount of ear infections the first year of his life. So it was a really difficult time. And then to make matters a little more challenging, we moved from Washington, D.C. to Seattle, Washington when I was in the middle of my 3rd trimester. So I think a lot of people at this point can relate to like that just churn where life just doesn't seem to let you breathe and you're kind of just getting through it. You know, I think coming out of the pandemic, a lot of us have been there. And I was in that space. And, you know, when you are in that space, you cut out everything. You just are getting through it. You really, you know, I was handling my clients. I was keeping my kids alive. And that was basically all I had the mental bandwidth for. And as I was coming out of that period and, you know, my kid got ear tubes, he was doing a lot better. That's when I started really trying to evaluate like, okay, what is it that I want to do? Where do I want to go with this? How do I want to rebuild my business? And I was doing all of that, complaining to a friend, like, I'm not sure what I want to do exactly. Like, obviously I know I want to coach, but like for about 2 years, I had really just been coaching people word of mouth. Like I didn't do any marketing. I hadn't really like tried to expand my business at all. And, you know, I was doing what we always do. We complain to our friends, like, what am I going to do? What should I do next? Where am I going? Like something's not right. And my friend, God love her, she's one of those really wonderful people that like helps you like that. Mm-hmm. She said, Becca, you're a coach. What would you tell yourself? And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right.
WWBD. What would Becca do?
What would Becca do? Exactly. So I very quickly got off FaceTime and I sat down and I wrote out every question I could think of that I had asked my clients to help them have those aha moments. And as I was writing them down, I just realized how powerful it was to get out of whatever rote, stuck way you've been thinking about the problem and just the questions themselves help you think expansively because the way you've been thinking about it is keeping you stuck. So you need to get out of your own head and into another frame of mind. And so as I was writing those questions down, I then stopped and I started writing down my answers to them. And I just got more and more and more clear really rapidly. And one of the things that I'd realized, I'd let go of my writing. Before I got pregnant with my second kid, I had a mindfulness website that I loved, and it was a passion project. I had 90 authors writing for me. It was a pretty big project, but it wasn't making any money. So it was the first thing to go as soon as my life started becoming chaotic. And I was like, you know what? That's why, even though I love coaching, things don't feel right because I have let go of my writing, and my writing really was synergetically really made what I do like more me. And so that was my first writing project after the baby. It took a little longer than I thought it would because your first book always does.
Oh, yes.
First books are not for the faint of heart. But I love it because I love having people tell me, oh, I just did like 10 questions in there and it really helped me just pivot the way I was thinking about it. And because we have the answers within ourselves. I think so often we think that someone else is going to give us the answer. But if we can really allow ourselves to sit with ourselves and listen, I think those answers are almost always within.
Mm-hmm. You seem to talk about a lot about getting unstuck in your mind and physical and everything else. It's like, explain the process of how you get unstuck and how you recognize things. And you seem to put a lot of focus on getting unstuck and say, how do you know that you're stuck and how do you get out of it and everything else? Maybe explain the process and how does one person get out of a rut pretty much?
Exactly. And I think the reason why I gravitate that so much is because I see so many people staying stuck for entirely too long. And, it's not easy because we do have all of these things in our lives. It's not just, we're not just flitting through and being able to do exactly what we want. Most of us don't have $1 million trust funds that allow us to just sit there and explore ourselves all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And most of us have a lot of responsibilities, and those responsibilities take up time. And then we end up putting ourselves last. And so I really just so believe in my heart that the more that you can put yourself a little more front and center and listen to what's going on, the more you can just make these gradual nudges so that you're staying on the right path. I think a lot of times what happens is people put themselves last for so long that they end up blowing up, like internally, externally, however it ends up happening, because they have put themselves last so much that they're so far away from what they want that once they really face that, it becomes very sad and very challenging.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the challenges that you often encounter too is like everybody talks about self-care these days, but you is just like, you encourage everyone to go deeper into self-care and, self-care making happy. But what's the reason for going much deeper than that?
Well, because self-care isn't going to fix a big problem. Like I often liken self-care to a Band-Aid. When you have a little cut, a Band-Aid's great. It keeps it safe. It keeps the little cut safe. It keeps it dry. It protects it so it can heal. But if you have a big gaping wound, a Band-Aid isn't going to help. It's not even going to fully cover it. So self-care is great for those little instances in your life. If someone cuts you off on the highway and flicks you off, or if someone, if your boss is kind of in a cranky mood one day, like self-care is great to help you recover from those moments, but self-care is not great for helping you recover from, like, if your boss is like an annoying micromanager that is constantly on your case. Self-care is not going to fix that. What's going to fix that is you going and looking for another job. And I think so often we tell people, oh, you're really stressed out. Go get a glass of wine with friends or go get a massage. But, I had a massage therapist tell a friend once, like, I can give you a massage. It'll be great. And you're literally going to be in knots again 24 hours later because your job is what is doing this and you're going to go back to your job.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
I think self-care, we often talk about it like it can fix problems. Self-care doesn't fix the underlying problems. Self-care makes it a little easier to deal with that problem for a finite period of time, but it's not fixing the problem. And if we keep telling people that it should fix the problem, then it's like, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I so stressed out? I just had a massage 2 weeks ago, or I just got myself a chocolate. Like, I should be better. And it's no, that self-care isn't going to fix the underlying problem.
And there's my self-care with you right now. So as we're speaking,
coffee, right? I mean, a lot of us have coffee as self-care, and those little rituals are so important. Like, I am not dismissing the relevance and the necessity of self-care. I'm just saying that we put too much pressure on that self-care to be the end all be all of, where we are and how we are good to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And you also hit upon the job earlier as well, too, like your boss is on your case, micromanaging and everything. And of course, it's also important that you need to make sure that your job is working for you. And how do you know your job's working for you? And if the job isn't working, how would you know? And what would somebody do about it?
I think that I think you usually know whether the job is working for you. I think you avoid facing it. So I think the big thing is to really be open and honest with yourself, because I hear a lot of excuses, and I don't like using that word because it's not, maybe rationalization would be a little bit better of a word. Like, oh, I will job search, but I'm going to wait until I see if I get the promotion in December, or I can't leave right now because I'd be leaving my coworkers high and dry on this project. I'll start job searching in 6 months. And always putting other people's needs ahead of your own, and kind of always hoping that other people will change the situation enough that you don't actually have to do the job search. And I think that that's, I mean, especially right now when job searching isn't that bad, I think that that's really giving up your sense of agency, because it's letting other people control your experience instead of you going out there and making sure that your experience is in line with what you want.
Mm-hmm. And that's very important as well, too. And I'm glad you talked about being more honest to yourself and facing problems head on. And of course, why it's your job, just be mindful of your productivity. And also, it's important to nurture and achieve your hopes and dreams. And that has got to be the last most important thing.
Yeah. I mean, it is, because I get people who God love everybody who goes through this, because it is really hard to face where you've allowed yourself to get off track. But the really hardest thing is I will get people in their like late 50s and their 60s who feel off track. And that's a really hard thing to face. I always have a great deal of admiration and respect for people who do face it, because I also am aware. I see it in my family. I see it in people around me. I'm aware that some people just never do this. But imagine what a gift it is to yourself when you are 60 to have done this work now, so you are lined up for actually doing what you want to be doing in your old age. And I think that sometimes we get so wrapped up in those responsibilities that we're just always pushing it off, but that is who we are. That is us. And if you're pushing it off, you're very literally pushing yourself off and putting yourself last.
That is rather interesting as well, too. And for those out there that are 50 and 60, what is the best advice you can give to anybody out there?
It's not too late. Like, I think that is my biggest advice. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's not too late, and you have no time to waste. That also, it doesn't matter whether you're 20 or you're 60. You really don't have time to waste.
Mm-hmm. And that's a very important point as well, too. And also, just one more thing, where can we find the Clarity Journal at?
You can find the Clarity Journal on Amazon. It's super easy to find. You can find me at beccaribbing.com, and I'm sure that'll be in the show notes.
Okay, sounds good. We will certainly do that. What's coming up for Becca Ribbing? We'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor, The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Moses Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with author Becca Ribbing of The Clarity Journal after this time out.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to The Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with author Becca Ribbing of the Clarity Journal and life coach on the Mike Wagner Show. And Becca, just a few more things. You gave some great insight into getting people unstuck. You're doing a great job of it. What else can we expect from you in 2022 and beyond, Becca?
I am in the middle of writing my second book. It's called Mindful Procrastination. It's basically about the struggles that a lot of people have. A lot of us are taught, just do it. Like, we're taught to really just power through, and that does not work for most people. And so mindful, did I say mindful productivity?
Mindful procrastination. You can say it later. It's okay. You can say it later.
It's called mindful procrastination. Now I'm like, I don't remember what I was saying. So anyway, but when we procrastinate, it's our whole system trying to tell us something. And that something might be, hey, you need more clarity about what you're doing. That something might be, you're not on the right track, but sometimes that something is really just you're overloaded and you're trying to do too much. So mindful procrastination is really to help you get back in touch with yourself. So you stop beating yourself up and you can kind of take control of your momentum and your energy so you can move forward strongly in the way you want.
And we're certainly looking forward to that, and we're not putting off on this one, that's for sure. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say, I would say my grandfather. My grandfather spent, 60 or however many years, 50 years, 49 years as a bricklayer. And then he got into management bricklaying, and he did not like his job. And I remember having a conversation with him when I was 12, where he was complaining about his job. And I was just like, well, why do you have it? And he was like, well, I'm not going to change. I retire in 6 years. And that made such a deep impact on me because he, in general, was a very happy, kind, loving person. And just in that moment, I just really realized how much, if you're not doing what you love, it can just kind of crush your soul. And how that really does, you lose part of yourself when you do that.
And that's very interesting as well, too, for those out there getting ready to retire and all that. Just look at yourself. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I think my best advice to anyone at that point, but also that point comes a lot in life, like for moms who are about to have kids, keep your eye on what it is that makes you happy, what brings you energy. Because I think a lot of times when someone's retiring, if they didn't like their job, they're just giving up's not the right word. I'm trying to think, they're just kind of lying down and being like, okay, I'm done. I don't have to do this anymore. I hated it. Instead of moving towards something that they love. And sometimes that's travel. Sometimes that's spending time with the grandkids, but sometimes that's going and volunteering and coming up with a new project. There's so much out there, and study after study shows that the more engaged you are in retirement, the happier you're going to be, but also the healthier you're going to be.
That's a really good point. I like that, and I'll apply that to myself and my friends as well, too. That's great advice, Becca. We're here with author Becca Ribbing at the Clarity Journal, life coach here on the Mike Wagner Show. Becca, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot from you. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep this up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact? Where can people purchase a book and check out your services and more?
So again, you can find me on Amazon. The Clarity Journal is there. You can find my own website at beccaribbing.com. And I am in the middle of writing Mindful Procrastination. And you can get on the list at my website if you want to be informed when that comes out.
We certainly will do so. Once again, Becca, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you soon. Make sure you keep this up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. We wish you all the best, and you've got a great future ahead of you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303 888-398-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen-Zia of Missing. And powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms. And of course on themikewagnershow.com, hamiltonradio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at themikewagnershow.com. Thanks for listening.